Do we all remember this guy, Abdul Azidi? Let me get the picture up.
I mean, this
Which
only
one?
happened 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, he has a worse fringe than me at the moment. So basically, this guy, he was denied asylum twice, and during this time as well, he sexually assaulted someone, outstanding citizen who definitely deserves citizenship rights, definitely deserves asylum. And after being granted asylum, shortly after being granted asylum on the basis that he converted to Christianity, he threw a corrosive substance at a woman and I believe her children as well. And it begs the question, how was an individual like this able to stay in the UK after being denied asylum not once, but twice? You know, surely the system should be like, you've been denied asylum, kick you out. Yeah. But obviously that doesn't happen. And a part of this is because we have non-profits, organizations, activist organizations who Trojan horse, they call themselves charities. And when we think of charities, we think of like a nice, kind old lady
Giving to the poor.
Yeah, trying to find money for cancer research or helping homelessness, that kind of stuff. Noble acts, I'd argue. Not this. So we already spend a boatload on asylum seekers as it is. It's like millions a day. But for those who aren't even accepted into that system, don't you worry, they also get housing and food by the Action Foundation and other organisations like this.
Sorry, just to interrupt, is the Conservative Party funding this?
The government is funding it through government grants and contracts. I believe it was...
We can't take another 5 years of Conservative governance.
Oh, we'll just fund our own terrorism. That's great. Thanks, boys.
And there's also references to grooming gangs as well, who've also been funded by similar organisations.
Conservative Party funding grooming gangs.
It's over hundreds of thousands of pounds in grants, and in addition to housing and shelter, they're also being provided legal aid as well. So if you're wondering how all these asylum claimants are having the genius idea of converting to Christianity, I guarantee that these organisations are having a part to play in that.
I'm legit shocked that helps, to be honest. Try to convert Christianity where you're not coming in then.
And it doesn't just stop at asylum claimants in providing fooding and housing and legal aid. It's also influencing government policy as well. As you can see by this article by Stephen Edgington, charities lobbying against the Rwanda bill have been given $209 million of taxpayer money, again through grants, through contracts, all that kind of stuff.
So the Conservative government's like, hey, we're going to try and pass this bill to get them sent to Rwanda. And they're also like, yeah, we're also going to fund the lobbying effort against passing the bill.
Yeah, we are deliberately funding organisations actively working against the interest of the British people.
But against the actions of the government itself.
Yeah. So some quotes from this. There's this charity called Freedom from Torture who has... cited the Rwanda bill as a cash for human scheme. And they've also said that we will keep fighting.
Cash for human scheme.
Yeah, I love...
Or like a job.
Yeah, literally. But also
that's
the fact
employment.
that the Rwanda bill is responding to the illegal immigration coming in the UK, which again is a cash for human scheme. The amount of money they are getting is completely ridiculous. There's no two ways about it. And also saying we will keep fighting. Again, surely these charities should not be doing that. They shouldn't be acting as activists rallying against the British government.
Well, they shouldn't, but...
And again, this charity received £600,000 in grants.
We're going to rebrand, man. We're going to rebrand as a charity, and then we're going to get this money off the government.
Lotus Eaters Foundation.
Yeah, we're going to, yeah.
And it doesn't stop there as well. So this amazing paper by Conservative Way Forward, defunding political motivated campaigns, because it's not just about charities and organisations, it's about the civil service, it's about the Equality Act, all these parts of government stopping the government from actually doing anything. The little will that the Conservatives have to do anything is completely trampled on by these organisations and by the functions of the government itself, by the functions of the state.
sorry to interrupt the video, but I just want to let you know that we have a brand new selection of merch on our merch store. These won't be in the store forever, so if you do want them, go and get them now. Thanks very much.
State. And a few examples of this on page 9. I'm terrible.
All right, John.
So there's the Refugee Action Plan organization, which has been given 17.7 million by the government, described the Rwanda plan as racist.
Branding. We're getting some of this money, man.
We're the I Love Rwanda Foundation.
We love refugees. We love Rwanda.
And it described the Rwanda plan as racist at its core. I'm so glad we're giving millions of pounds to these organizations.
Hey, man, being mentally ill is actually a career choice. Sincerely.
You don't know the half of it. Again, LGBT charities calling for the ban of conversion therapy. The charity has received 140 million of British taxpayer money. Fantastic.
To do what? Like,
Call
what
the
were the strings
government racist.
attached? Yeah.
Call the government racist.
It must be at least 10 times a month. Like, what specifically why?
Because I will get into that later. But basically, these organizations campaigning, lobbying the government to push forward the conversion therapy ban, which basically prohibits freedom of speech.
What's that got to do with refugees?
Oh no, this is an LGBT charity.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're all in different aspects of it. It's not just illegal immigration or migration.
Right.
It's every single aspect of wokeism that you can imagine. Same with the Health Alliance on Climate Change.
So we've had the race communism, now we need the gay communism, now we need the climate communism.
Climate communism, who have sided with Extinction Rebellion, and they've been involved in public disturbances, which have also led to the arrest of several members
How much
of
did they
this.
get from the government?
I don't have the statistics, but I can guarantee
Billions and billions.
minimum hundreds of thousands, but I can bet millions as well. And next one. I'm terrible. I've just gone back. Oh gosh. Okay, Stonewall. We're all aware of Stonewall.
Oh, I thought they stopped this.
This was in 2023. I'm not sure if they've stopped this, but this has been a continuous thing.
So what I'm thinking from this, all I'm taking from the sort of business perspective is that Stonewall has made a serious mistake here. Right? If they were full spectrum communism, as in, gay communism, race communism, environment communism, they could be racking in way more money from the government.
Way more markets to tap into.
Exactly. We could be inventing new kinds of communism to get money out of the Conservative Party for. That's all I'm saying.
And they've received 1.2 million from taxpayer subsidies this year per year.
Why not? Stonewall was something that happened in America, isn't it?
The Stonewall riots. Yeah.
I mean, in like New York, I think.
Yeah, I think originally the charity was used to promote just gay and lesbian rights, whatever that means, and then it slowly progressed to trans
State-mandated
ideology. Yeah,
Oh, they got all the rights. So what are you going to do? Go home?
more rights.
Oh, we're being paid.
Just make up more rights.
And within that 1.2 million pounds of taxpayer subsidies, 700,000 is going towards diversity champions. So these are champions going into organizations promoting their gay communism, their trans communism, all that kind of great stuff. And they've also, as the report shows, over 200 public sector organizations have also given money to Stonewall through these diversity champion schemes. So if you're wondering why everything is so woke, here's one of the
You
answers.
can thank the Conservative Party.
Again, another example. This is a really great Substack that goes on the Runnymede Trust. Are you guys aware of the Runnymede Trust?
Yes, they're race communists.
Yeah. They wrote Britain's new policy on Islamophobia and provides influence on teaching kids about migration and belonging and the empire at school. Fantastic. And then next one. So if you're wondering why this is happening, part of it is because the charity sector has just significantly grown. This is an article in The Critic by Poppy Coburn, who's done tremendous work on this. As you can see here,
165,000 voluntary organizations.
yeah, the amount of workers is nearly 2/3 as many as the NHS.
56.9 billion.
Obviously, like, not all of these are woke organizations. There are still, like, charity research, that kind of stuff, like cancer foundations, like things that you could see are plausible. Like, I don't have an issue really with that. But a lot of it is going towards these woke charity organizations. And actually, if you look at the Charity Commission page and it shows the percent of government grants and all that kind of stuff, that isn't even it. Because these organizations, for example, the Action Foundation that funded what's his name? Abdul-Azidi.
Yeah.
If you look at that, you can absolutely go through a rabbit hole of these organizations funding the other organizations through trusts and everything. So they've also been funded through the state through bigger organizations. It's literally like a spider web.
There's also the problem of these organizations, whether they aren't meant to be woke, being woke regardless. I mean, they say here, the medical charity The Wellcome Trust, whose London Museum recently shut its Medicine Man exhibition based upon the collection of its founder for fear that it represented a version of medical history that is based on racist, sexist, and ableist theories and language.
This is 56 billion every year, which is burning.
Yeah.
Because what is that?
Yeah.
I just did some pocket calculations because I wanted to figure out how big that is. That's a third of the size of the British agricultural sector. Imagine if a third of the agricultural sector was just burning money. That's all this is.
Yeah.
God, that is huge.
But again, bear in mind, not all of this is through the government, and not all of this is going to woke organizations.
Still, think about how many pyramids you could build for 56 billion. I mean, just do anything. Just build a really big hole, and you'd have more done.
Yeah. And again, a lot of this money is going to organizations that actively... Really
Neuron activated.
And again, like, why is this happening? This article by Harrison Pitts, Britain's Deep State Bulldozing the Blob, again, it exemplifies all the reasons why this is happening, why nothing can actually change in Whitehall. Shows that this is due, not entirely, but partially due to the Charities Act, which in 2011 redefined charitable purposes to include the advancements of human rights, conflict resolution, or reconciliation.
One of the Conservative governments, when they're in coalitions, first changes was to make woke activism part of charity.
Yeah, thanks, David Cameron.
God.
Yeah.
Even Tony Blair didn't do that. Just need a Malay, man. Just come in and just be like, no, you're all gone.
So true, so true.
Sorry.
But yeah, it is partially due to the Charities Act. But I don't think even getting rid of the Charities Act is enough. We need to get these organizations out of government, because this is a form of lobbying. The amount of scrutiny that, like, the Institute of Economic Affairs gets, these organizations, which are masquerading as charities, should be getting that same level, if not more, scrutiny, because they're actively anti-British and they're destroying this country pretty much.
It's ideological activism masquerading as charity.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I think my social medias are being promoted. Follow me on Twitter, Jessica03, Instagram, and TikTok.
If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Contemplation series, this episode on why the political compass test questions are terrible. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.